there's something Agnes doesn't want for Christmas. A Christmas tree? Well, let's wait and see. Mrs. Brown's Boys in half an hour. First, on BBC One, Gary Lineker is today's ref.
Good evening, welcome to Have I Got News For You? I'm Gary Lineker. In the news this week, at the crucial moment with the opposition in disarray and an open goal gaping, surely the striker can't miss. In Yorkshire, England cricket captain Joe Root starts to worry that his new dog isn't going to work out. And in Westminster, someone finds themselves on Santa's naughty list.
Well, I'm grateful for that. You should be ashamed of yourself.
On Ian's team tonight, she was recently ranked number 75 on a list of the 100 most influential people on the left. Sounds impressive, but Ryan Giggs is still at 24. Please welcome Ayesha Hazarika. And with Paul tonight is a comedian who was the youngest member of the Noel Coward Society. Oddly enough, I was the youngest member of the Football Coward Society. Please welcome Tom Allen.
Thank you.
And we start with the biggest stories of the week. Ian and Ayesha, take a look at this.
Ah, that's the Prime Minister. Still. Boris banging the table. Oh, and she's still there.
And nothing has changed.
So Mrs May, she won. The Tory party was full of them. Ian Duncan Smith, who actually faced a vote of no confidence. Do you remember he was Tory leader once? Yeah. He lost. He didn't just win by not very much. He lost completely and was removed. There he is in the studio saying, no, it was a bad night for her. Only compared to being sacked for being utterly useless.
Never even faced an election, did he?
No.
Although Theresa May didn't face a proper leadership contest either, because she had to go up against Andrea Leadsom, and that's like winning Wimbledon against a wheelie bin.
This is the vote of no confidence in Theresa May, which has achieved absolutely nothing at all. Let's see what the people of Southampton think about it.
Theresa May is still your Prime Minister this morning. How do you feel about that?
I couldn't care less.
But that poor woman was just walking up between those, like, that disused German Christmas market. Mind your own business. Someone comes out with a microphone and goes, Theresa May is still your Prime Minister? I mean, you're lucky she didn't scream and run away. Yeah.
Well, to be fair, she is in the cabinet.
It's all very boring, though, isn't it? That just goes on and on for so long. And you sort of think, wouldn't it be great if, like, maybe the Queen could organise some sort of tiebreaker where they have to answer a question or pull a cracker or do some sort of, like, tough mudder.
Penalty shootout.
A penalty shootout, I believe you would call it in your world, Gary. I don't understand it myself. Like, just do something, because it just doesn't seem to move forward. Like, we were like, oh, there's going to be the big vote on Tuesday. Oh, no, it's not happening. Oh, well, maybe Theresa May will go, no, she won't. And so how long will this continue, that we're just all sort of going, something big's going to happen any day now?
What's surprising, though, about the number of votes that Theresa May got?
That so many people voted against her.
Or is it more surprising how many people voted for her?
I suppose it depends what you think of her.
Good
I mean,
point.
Rees-Mogg was indicating that, you know, this was going to be a huge defeat, which it was for himself. Personally, I thought he made an idiot of himself. I don't know about anyone else. You see, people's vote.
I wanted Theresa May, when she won that vote, to sort of come out in front of the RG, dancing to the song, you know, I'm Still Standing, flicking them the V's. That's what I really wanted her to do. I was like, go on, girl, do it.
Well, I watched Jacob Rees-Mogg going around saying that, in many ways, Mrs May hadn't won. Because she'd got 2/3 of the vote to 1/3. And when it was 52-48, he didn't seem to take that view. He said, you know, you lost, and I just wanted to run up to him and go, suck it up, loser!
Well, it's amazing.
Have you been watching EastEnders or something?
I'm infused with the spirit of Mr Dyer.
Yes.
That was a bit embarrassing for Jacob, but he's got one supporter. Any guesses who that might be?
His wife. His nanny.
Well, actually, it's my old teammate, Peter Shilton, who tweeted, I have been so impressed with Jacob Rees-Mogg in the last few days. He really knows what he's talking about and puts it across in a calm and calculated manner.
Who's Peter Shilton?
Peter Shilton is a former goalkeeper of England.
Yeah, he played backstop.
Who was actually... What did May have to agree to in order to cling to power?
She had to say that she would go before the next general election.
I mean, I thought it would be the end of the week. So it's not a bad kicking the can down. And anyway, nobody wants the job.
Is it a good job, do you think, to have? Like, you get the nice house, and you get a fast car. What else do you get?
Nice weekend home.
Nice weekend home.
Chequers is lovely.
What's so lovely about it?
It's just like sort of nice posh mini break for the weekend. It's just really... Yeah, I think you would like it.
I think I would like it.
Yeah.
All right, I'll do the job.
How did the Radio 4 continuity announcer reflect the sombre mood of the nation on Wednesday afternoon?
Did they get drunk? Started singing?
Not quite.
Mispronouncing people's names?
Not quite.
No.
Let's have a listen.
Oh, yeah, go on, yeah.
Go on,
It's the
have a
best way,
listen.
isn't it?
This is BBC Radio 4. Now, if you thought Westminster was in crisis, Brian's looking for his reading glasses in the Arches.
That puts it all in perspective, doesn't it?
Some people think the vote of confidence that was called on Wednesday evening was so that MPs could get out of going to the Christmas Conservative party, which was being held where?
Was it in a brewery?
No, would you believe the Cuckoo Club? And if that didn't cheer you up, would you like to see Chief Secretary to the Treasury, Liz Truss, making some black pudding?
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally.
Here you go.
Absolutely.
Do they not have any PR people?
I'll tell you what, though, she's definitely done that before.
Stop it.
Yes, here we are at the end of an extraordinary week and a result that took us all by surprise. Spurs drawing 1-1 in Barcelona.
Yeah.
One minister has compared Britain's hopeless situation in the EU negotiations to the moment in a game of chess when any move you make puts you in a worse position, which is known by the German word Zugzwang. There is, of course, another German word that sums up the situation.
In einer Sphäre befinden, in der wir uns noch nicht so gut auskennen. Ich habe früher dazu mal Neuland gesagt. Das hat mir einen großen Shitstorm.
Paul and Tom, take a look at this. It's your turn.
Oh,
Great, lovely.
good.
Lovely.
Thank God.
So this is the French president, Monsieur Macron.
So handsome.
This is...
Oh, yeah. And the vests and the diving and the squared background. It's a lovely trellis he's got at the back. I bet he's great at gardening as well as
Do you think so?
Oh, yeah, I'd love to be married to him.
Would you?
Yeah, I'm not old enough.
He's not that old, is he?
Nobody likes older people, I think.
Does he?
His partner's a bit older than him.
Oh, is she?
It's very romantic.
Is it?
Yeah, I think she was his teacher.
Oh.
Yeah. Do you not know this?
No.
Oh, you'd love it.
Would I?
I'll send you the book.
All right. So, yeah, they've been protesting in France, I believe.
Gilet jaune, the yellow gilet. Personally, I couldn't possibly be part of it because I don't like gilets.
No.
And I can't wear yellow.
Can't you really?
I find it very draining.
Do you?
Do you wear it? Do you?
Yeah, just not visibly, but I wear it underneath stuff.
Really? Which is ironic because it's high vis.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what?
What?
I was on my way to a festival once and I'd forgotten to buy a coat.
Yes.
And so I stopped at a petrol station.
Yeah.
And they had those jackets there.
Yes.
You know, the yellow ones?
Yes.
And I bought one.
Yes.
It was cheap.
Yes.
It is so warm.
Yes.
And you know the best thing?
What?
You can go anywhere you like with it on. You wear a high-vis jacket, walk in, say, I'm here to fix the fire alarms. They go, yeah, come on in. Go anywhere you like. I went to Thorpe Park.
They just sound more sophisticated, don't they? The gilets jaunes. It just sounds, you know... I remember when we had our field protest, we just had a few blokes from Eddie Stobart that turned up at DEFRA with some high-vis jackets. It just wasn't quite as glamorous, basically.
In France, you have to carry a gilet jaune in your car, compulsorily.
Oh, really?
So everyone's got one anyway. You can just put it on, you join the protest.
Ah.
At the moment, though, you may get shot, so...
And can you imagine as well if you had got, like, a flat tyre or something? I mean, it would be so annoying, wouldn't it? Just like, no, you don't understand. My Citroen has just broken down. Marched off, having to throw things at people, put a ski mask on like that bloke had in the film. Oh, it would be very annoying.
The French like to be defined by an item of clothing. Today, it's the gilet jaune. In the French Revolution, it was the sans-culotte. And in the Second World War, it was les bruns pantalons. Did you see that President Macron went on live TV to try and put an end to the violence?
He made several proposals, didn't he? Or he caved in on a couple of things. Is it sort of fuel prices for pensioners, something like that? The French do have a history of, you know, rebellion. And it's best to stay on the side of the French population as much as you can, really.
Well, here he is.
That's a desk and a half, isn't it?
See, if I was him, I would have worn a hat that looks just like those lampshades. That's what I would have done.
What were the original complaints about?
Fuel prices, wasn't that the main thing?
Yeah, carbon tax on fuel.
I mean, we're having a go at Theresa May for incompetence. Come on. Paris is in flames. They smashed up the Arc de Triomphe. We've had 700,000 middle-class people going, can we have another vote? That's Britain for you. You should be incredibly grateful. Anyway, it's not a great advert for Europe. Mrs May going over and saying, could we have some concessions? Him going, no, we don't concede at all. Money, everyone? Money, no concessions from us.
Having swept into power,
yes,
as a brand new kind of political leader, how is Macron viewed now?
He's really unpopular now. His popularity ratings are at an all-time low, and of course the worry is that the right is going to surge up again because he, you know, Marie Le Pen was his big threat. So I think there's a lot of people kind of thinking, well, this would be good for the far right. The other thing which is hard for him
is... It's going to be the chemise noire.
Oh, yes.
Some of you must have learned French.
These French jokes, they're just not working here, are they?
Yeah. No, we're going to make them work.
We'll keep going, we'll keep trying.
La plume de ma tante. I'm starting low.
The French could claim one victory this week. The famous Moulin Rouge Club in Paris, home of the Can-Can, won a claim to stop its name being used by the Moulin Rouge kebab shop in Gateshead. I kid you not. A copyright watchdog judged the owner of the restaurant to be morally reprehensible. Takeaway kebabs, pizzas and burgers conjure up none of the ambience of the Moulin Rouge, quite the reverse. So they were just doing it for some free publicity, which is unforgivable of the Moulin Rouge in Winlarton. Gateshead, that's Gateshead near Newcastle. Telephone 0191 414 0000. I'll be up there next week, guys. Okay? Can't wait. Staying with international politics, Donald Trump. What's the next problem for him?
Well, Michael Cohen, his lawyer and his fixer, his chief fixer for the last 10, 12 years, has just gone to prison for essentially following Donald Trump's orders, doing what Donald Trump wanted him to do. If Donald Trump wasn't president at this point, he would be facing a jail sentence, and his family are in trouble as well.
Yep.
They're all going to end up in gilet orange.
It'll match his skin colour anyway. His popularity amongst the American population is slowly sinking. Even amongst the thickest ones are getting it.
Here's the court drawing of Cohen being sentenced. Look at that woman in the background.
Isn't that the Scream by Edward Morgan?
In other American news, why did a newspaper, the Post-Journal, have to make a correction this weekend?
What did they say?
Well, it was actually because of an article they published about Julia Roberts. Julia Roberts finds life and her holes get better with age. Which it followed
Fingers crossed!
I think the text has been airbrushed.
Which it followed up the next day with this correction. A headline in Saturday's Post-Journal should have read, Julia Roberts finds life and her roles get better with age. And finally, what did The Guardian issue a correction for recently?
Was it last year's losses?
In Saturday's edition, they published this note. A reader noted that our recipe called spaghetti with radicchio, fennel and rosemary didn't include spaghetti, fennel or rosemary. This is the news that riots continue on the streets of Paris. The riot police tried every method possible to disperse the angry mobs. In the end, the only thing that worked was filling a water cannon with English wine. Also this week in Dresden, Vladimir Putin's old Stasi ID card had been unearthed. Didn't he used to be in The Man from U.N.C.L.E.? Time now for the Christmas tree of news.
Fantastic.
Fingers on buzzers.
They've discovered that reindeers are colourblind. Essentially, they've discovered that reindeers can't tell the difference between red, blue, green, red, white, black, red, green, red. So that's why they can't play snooker.
Yeah, this is the news that Rudolph the reindeer is actually colourblind.
Yeah.
Scientists at the University of Exeter this week revealed at the Science of Christmas conference that all reindeers are colourblind as their eyes can't see red, orange or green. And neither can cyclists. What awkward questions does this raise for Rudolph?
Does it raise the question why a university's got such a stupid conference?
This is a miscarriage of justice.
Is it really?
All of Rudolph's classmates were innocent. They didn't laugh and call him names. I'm just putting the case for the defence here.
Are you willing to take the word of a fictional reindeer over truth?
Yes.
Oh, that's fair enough.
As the Express put it, Christmas shock claims Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer was bullied over nose are wrong.
How do you feel now, Ian? You side with the Express.
Good.
What else is Rudolph not telling us then?
Oh, that he doesn't like carrots?
They're orange. You might think they're parsnips.
Imagine Christmas Day when you tried to dip a parsnip in some hummus. I'd rather die.
Rudolph is actually female because male reindeer have lost their antlers by late December. Ooh. In other words, he's transgender. Oh, dear. What sad animal news emerged from Australia this week?
The biggest kangaroo ever is no longer the biggest kangaroo. He's fallen over, not getting up again.
He's a deceased kangaroo. He is no more.
He is no more, exactly.
He was very ripped, wasn't he? He was like sort of Arnold Schwarzenegger of kangaroos.
What was his name? Anyone?
George.
Roger.
Paul.
Roger.
Roger the kangaroo. Yeah. I mean, it sounds like an instruction.
Yeah, he was Roger the ripped kangaroo, famous for his muscular physique. Sadly, he's died. He'll make one more TV appearance as his balls are set to be eaten on the next series of I'm a Celebrity. Fingers on buzzers, teams. Tom.
Oh, well, you know, a lot of people use trolleys at Christmas, and they're going to ban them. Bad for the environment, basically.
Are they?
Yeah. First it was the plastic bags, now it's the trolleys, next it's the whole supermarket. Bad.
Yes, it's the news that a tunnel in a Sainsbury's car park in Cornwall has become a visitor attraction. The tunnel started getting favourable reviews on TripAdvisor, becoming the top-rated attraction in Bude. What do you all think of Bude Tunnel, then, now you've had a glimpse of it? I don't feel any enthusiasm.
I don't feel like booking myself a ticket to...
Well, let's have a look what it looks like at Christmas, then. Hey, what about that?
Oh, that's amazing.
That's nice.
Oh, that's lovely. You'd be a bit annoyed, though, wouldn't you, if you were just trying to get your trolley out?
Staying with Christmas, how did a 5-year-old boy cause a bit of a stir when he turned up for his school's nativity play?
He came as Herod.
No. It was Alfie from Clackmannanshire was playing a shepherd, but his teacher noticed that the inflatable sheep he'd brought as a prop was, in fact, you've guessed it, a sex toy called a stag night bonking sheep. Let's have a look at Alfie with his new friend. Should we move on?
Yes.
Sounds good.
Yeah, this is the Bude Tunnel in Cornwall, which has been decorated with Christmas lights. At the ceremonial switching on of the lights in Cornwall, dozens of locals expressed their delight with a chorus of "Ooh, ah." Time now for the odd one out round. Ballybrack Football Club, Winston Churchill, 258 Chinese marathon runners, and Bez from the Happy Mondays.
So, Bez was recently disqualified from a celebrity bargain hunt for faking the...
He had his girlfriend bid for the items that he had already bought in the car boot sale.
I'm guessing the marathon runners might have been cheating or some drugs or something like that.
You're on the right lines here.
They've all
the
cheated.
football club have done some cheating as well.
Who hasn't?
Winston Churchill.
You're kind of there. They've all broken the rules except for Winston Churchill, who was given an exemption from the rules so he could drink alcohol. At the time, in 1932, he was travelling through Prohibition-era America. At the start of his tour, Churchill was hit by a car and so got a doctor to write him a note saying, "This is to certify that the post-accident convalescence necessitates the use of alcoholic spirits."
That's been dictated by Churchill.
How were Ballybrack FC caught breaking the rules recently?
They don't seem to have a football pitch, they're just a big fence.
Are they a youth team and did they play a player that was overage or something?
Not
Something
quite.
to do with dives. They're always diving, aren't they, you footballers? You love it.
It's more to do with dying than diving.
Oh, someone
died.
died?
Not quite.
Oh, well, then I don't know.
Well, they faked someone's death, or they... Oh, right, they faked someone's death.
Indeed. Facing a tough game against Arklow Town, the club reported the death of one of their players, Fernando Nuno Lafuente, in order to postpone the game. A tactic which worked so well it led to other teams in the league holding a minute's silence for Nuno. There was an outpouring of grief from Ireland's football community and a furious tirade from Roy Keane questioning the players' commitment. So how have 258 marathon runners broken the rules in China?
Did they not run the 26 miles? Or did they have mopeds?
Organisers of the Shenzhen Half Marathon caught 258 participants taking a shortcut with help from a local traffic helicopter. Here it is. In its coverage of the cheating at the Chinese marathon, the BBC website featured this photo. Though, to be on the safe side, the BBC lawyer insisted on the caption, "There is no suggestion that any of the runners pictured was involved in cheating." I'll bet one of them was. So Sue Me was the runner's name. They've all broken the rules, except for Winston Churchill, who was given an exemption from the rules so he could drink alcohol. Churchill routinely drank whiskey at breakfast, champagne at lunch, and wine and brandy at dinner. Blimey, no wonder he wanted to fight them on the beaches. At a recent marathon in China, a number of runners were caught cheating, according to The Independent. Long-distance runs are becoming increasingly popular in China, mainly among young children trying to escape from the iPhone factory. Time now for the Missing Words round, which this week features as its guest publication Carpenter's reading material of choice, Wood Carving Magazine. I read it on my Kindling. And we start with, what is a much maligned tool amongst woodcarvers?
Flamethrowers.
No.
Not flamethrowers.
No.
Saw?
Buzzsaw.
A cut saw.
Circular saw.
No.
Hacksaw.
Come on, no.
I've never named so many tools.
Put us out of our misery. What saw is it?
A chainsaw.
Oh, that was a good game.
Wasn't it exciting?
Wasn't it exciting? Enough. Let's just finish there.
Next, what release a surprising smash hit calendar for 2019?
The ERG.
The Spice Girls.
Woodcarvers of Rochdale.
It's Irish Farmers release a surprising smash hit calendar for 2019. This is ever-popular Irish Farmer calendar, which is celebrating its 10th anniversary this year. It might not be everyone's cup of tea, but it does have the best idea yet for the Irish border. Next, woman who married ghost of a 300-year-old pirate, what?
Got ghosted.
Has a phantom pregnancy.
No.
Has a phantom. You haven't heard a joke for so long, you don't know what it sounds like anymore.
Woman who married ghost of a 300-year-old pirate wants a divorce. This is Amanda Teague from County Louth in Ireland who wants to divorce the ghost of a Haitian pirate that she married earlier this year. Here's the happy couple. I wonder what sex with a 300-year-old pirate is like. Let's ask Jerry Hall. And finally, Morrison's is selling what for Christmas?
100% pure grade heroin.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, no.
No,
I misread it.
I misread it. Jacob Rees-Mogg.
No.
Easter eggs.
Is it that, like, when you get, like, a chicken inside a pigeon, inside a turkey, inside a cow?
Can you get a chicken inside a pigeon?
I think in Morrison's you probably could.
Morrison's is selling 3-course dinner in a pasty for Christmas. According to the Metro, it's a grab-and-go dinner for people who are not interested in the whole sit-down shebang. If you eat one of those, you'll be having the sit-down shebang on Boxing Day.
This is it.
So the final scores are Paul and Tom have 8 points, Ian and Ayesha have 4 points.
Very good. Very good.
I know, I'm sorry. It's my bad luck. Bring back Judy.
But before we go, there's just time for the caption competition. Ian and Ayesha have this.
Renovations in Jacob Rees-Mogg's sex dungeon.
Pull the wall further towards you. I'm trying to make this a semi-detached.
Paul and Tom,
yeah,
get that.
This isn't what I meant when I said I want to tickle the ivories.
That chap's playing my cousin. It didn't happen for real. The dog's saying, I've just had the weirdest dream.
And I leave you with news that at a Christmas garden party in Windsor, Sir Philip Green misreads the dress code on the invitation. News reaches the boss of Amazon that they will have to pay more tax this year. And at an EU summit, as Brexit negotiations drag on still further, Angela Merkel checks to see whether the anvil is still in place. Good night.
Well, there's more political comedy online as Jonathan Pye is back in the studio, available now from BBC Three. And download the BBC Sounds app for and I quote, geeky gossip about Brexit. Brexitcast is available now. But next, it wouldn't be Christmas without a tree from Mrs. Brown's Boys.
"16 candidates started, only 2 remain. Who will